What's up? Tyler, Keith,
Hello.
Plugged On.
He
We're
just
going to
took
talk
over.
about Godzilla.
King of the Monsters. Not to be confused
Yes.
with the original Godzilla King of the Monsters from the 1950s. I think 54? 55, one of the two. I don't remember.
Yeah, this is the follow-up to 2014's Godzilla. Which
Not as bad as I remember that movie being. I watched it again. I watched it
Yeah.
the day before, or the... It was the day before we went and saw this movie. I'm like, alright, it's not awful.
it was fine. To me, there was too much
People.
people. in the movie.
Not enough monsters crashing into each other, which,
Yes.
don't worry, there's a lot of that here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the thing about this movie that at least to me, will make it a lot more memorable and it's a lot more entertaining to watch. Is they went all in with that. And that's what people want to see.
Yeah,
At
it's
least
like-
in my opinion. I just don't care about the people characters that much in the Godzilla
Yep.
movie. They don't need to be incredible. You know?
Which, I mean, it's fine. They sort of are there, literally all the characters are there to just push the plot forward. A bit more than, again, in the previous one.
Yeah.
With Ford Brody. I forgot how dumb that was.
Yeah.
And then I saw it again. I'm like, good God.
Yeah. We'll talk as non-spoiler as possible here in the beginning. There's some spoiler things we might get into later, but we will certainly let you know when it happens. What'd you think?
This movie's dumb. This movie
it's
is
so
dumb as shit, but I fucking love it. It's like the movie really plays into how outlandish it should just seem. I mean, it's a world where there's just giant fucking monsters buried in the earth, and it just plays into that. It's like, and it just there's like little things here and there, like which we'll get into the story where it's those are like these things that make absolutely no sense, but you're just like, yeah, and it's just fun. Like there's all I'll say is there's a part with a nuke that is great.
Yes.
That's really, and there's a part with a hurricane that I'm also like, it's so obnoxiously bad, but it's great in that sense. I think this movie does better than the previous one because the previous one tried to be like have like a message to it, I guess, but like Godzilla and the monster movies like this are very similar to like slasher movies, where like the original intent of the movies is like cool, but then once you start doing sequels, you lose it. Like, you know, Godzilla, the original Godzilla was all about like is an allegory to the atomic bomb, but like you don't really have that again if you do more movies.
Yeah.
And so that's sort of the thing, is that why people love the first movie because of it, but why people eventually fell very much in love with Godzilla and he became a pop culture icon was because of him fighting other monsters and it being all about that and it being this very schlocky, campy sort of thing. And so this movie leans into that a lot more than the other ones. There's just, a lot of monsters running into each other and biting each other and just like... And it's just so great that now that there's just... Everybody's just okay with it. Like, boom, yep, there's giant monsters. And they're everywhere. And then everybody's just... That's just a part of the natural world right now. But, yeah. It's also like... It's one of those things where it's like the, quote-unquote... And I won't say what character it is because the quote-unquote villain of this movie, their motivations is like something that, like, reminds me of Thanos. Very much reminds me of, like...
Yeah.
But it's like, again, it can only exist in these kind of movies where it's like you just throw logic out the window. I'm like, you know what? That makes no sense, but sure. But, yeah.
Yeah, I've never... Well, let me back up. This movie's kind of bad, but it's also perfect in every way. You know, like, it doesn't matter if it's a bad movie. Because it's exactly what it needs to be. And a lot of the characters are fine, but then they give you a lot of monster fighting and stuff. There's a few things to me with this movie, though. One is the camera work sometimes is so hard to follow. Because because it's either dark, or they're constantly cutting back and forth, or the visual effects, it's raining. You know, I get that, you know, maybe they wanted to put you maybe in a little bit more of the shoes of the characters, maybe, and, you know, a lot of shit's just crazy, and destruction, weather, all that stuff that maybe they wanted you to kind of feel that, but man, sometimes it's just very hard to keep track of what's going on. You're like, what in the fuck am I even watching right now? Even like something simple, at least to me, it probably doesn't bother as many people. Like the very beginning, Vera Farmiga's character in Millie Bobby Brown, Millie Bobby Brown, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Her characters having breakfast together. And they are just constantly cutting back and forth between the two of, like, zoom-ins on their faces.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, stop! Stop! Give me one camera angle where there's, like, both of them a little bit. And then maybe cut. I'm like, holy shit. It was like every fucking half a second I felt like they were cutting back forward. Like, that sort of stuff just, I don't know. To me, made it a little hard to follow sometimes.
Like sometimes over-editing. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. And then the other thing, and this is not really anything bad against the movie at all. When you really start to think about certain things that happen, you're just like, this makes no fucking sense. You kind of just got to roll with it.
Mm-hmm.
There's several moments in here where I'm like, none of this makes sense. How is this character not harmed? How is this not happening? Whatever. And I was like, okay, sure, whatever. You just roll with it. And if you just, kind of let that go and just roll with it, I think this movie's a really fun time. I will say, when it comes to the visuals, like, yes, I'm saying it's hard to follow sometimes. Some of the visuals are fucking stunning.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the best, most stunning visuals I've seen in a movie in a long time. I mean, there's some incredible sick shots.
A lot of the stuff that you see in the trailer, some of those are just like, whoa.
Yes. And it looks great.
Yeah, it's like also, I mean, we saw it at a really nice theater, which helps too.
Yes.
I also only have really one complaint, and that's much like the reference that we made in the very beginning of this video. Sometimes the jokes are fucking stupid in this movie.
Oh, yeah, they do not land at all.
Like, there's some that work. There's some where I'm like, okay, cool. But then, like, there's a lot where I'm just like, yeah. You're really trying to be funny. But it's like, almost in the sense that it's like, you just ignore it, and then it just makes the movie better. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just like, yeah, this guy's weird. Whatever. Cool. He's making jokes about monsters banging each other. Whatever. Like, cool. Although, okay, I will admit, I genuinely thought the one joke in the beginning during the court hearing was funny. When the dude's like, here's a documentary on breeding, and I'll blur out the parts that are, might be offensive. I'm like, all right, that's kind of funny. But,
yeah.
like, a lot of the humor does not land in this movie at all.
No, it really doesn't. And, the first movie, like you said, the first movie tried to, like, have a message and stuff. I would say this one definitely does, though. Too, of the message of humans are fucking the planet up really bad. How it gets to what it needs and the villain of the movie, I don't know. But I don't think that's a bad message necessarily for 2019.
Yeah.
Because it's very true.
It's very true. It's also like, it's... But the movie does it, like, in such a very super subtle way. Like, I didn't even really think about it until you brought it up then, and I'm like, yeah, I guess that's there, but it's like, if you want there to be a message, it's there.
Yeah,
or if you just want it to be
definitely.
a dumb fucking monster movie, go for it. It's right there.
To me, I think it's basically a disaster movie with Godzilla attached to it.
It is. It very much is.
Like, some of the destruction's crazy, and one critique that I heard from others and everything, which I do agree with, it would be cool, because there was only one moment, really, where we saw it of, like, all of this destruction's happening in certain locations in the movie, but they didn't really give it to you of, like, in the human perspective.
It's all like TV cameras seeing what's happening. Yeah,
exactly. Like as divisive of the episode was, the bells, the second to last episode of Game of Thrones. That's one of the best parts about it. It gave you that horror from the ground level. You know what I mean? I would love if Godzilla got more into that somehow. I mean, I know it's a monster movie. That's what we want to see. It's the monsters fighting. But, there's really only, like, one moment where that actually happened. It was this is interesting.
I mean, you could do it maybe from sort of like that. Just kind of put a main character on the ground, like in the middle of the fight. You're just...
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's a simple fix. I mean, that's what Game of Thrones did. Game of Thrones had, with Arya. I mean,
And they almost did that with Millie Bobby Brown's character.
A little bit,
But not. I wish they would have went further with it.
Yeah.
Which she was fine in the movie.
Yeah.
I would say everybody in the movie is fine. They're as good as they need to be.
To help just not make the movie a stinker.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of is a stinker, but I mean, like I said, it doesn't matter.
No,
like there is enough of there is enough work put into this to enough so that it's not just monsters fighting into each other, which honestly would probably get boring if it was like 2 hours of just that. Mm-hmm. It would be like, but
yeah, and I definitely like this one more. Than
100%, 100%.
I mean, it's way more entertaining. I like how they very subtly setting up like a larger universe of this. Because the next movie is Godzilla versus King Kong, which should be fucking awesome.
Which I'm fucking stoked for.
They definitely set certain things up with dialogue here and there. Nothing super forceful, but things here and there.
It's again like
cool.
I think they're just doing like enough. Like, hey, if all this does really well, we can just keep making movies. I mean, Godzilla vs. King Kong is coming out next year, so we know that one's happening.
Like less than a year.
And I think if they have their way, I think there's going to be another Godzilla movie.
Definitely.
Because Charles Dance has said that he's not in the next sequel.
Yes.
So he's not in Kong versus Godzilla, but he might be in a future sequel, which, there's cool stuff.
Sure.
Yep, sure. I like the monsters they use. They're probably the three other biggest monsters in the kaiju, if you want to use the technical term. I mean, King Ghidorah is fucking awesome. It's a 3-headed dragon that breathes lightning. I'm on board. They did stuff with Rodan. That's cool.
Yeah, Mothra was great.
Mothra was great. I wish it maybe did more.
Yeah.
With Mothra, but I mean, a lot of cool stuff. I mean, there is a wide berth of just cool monsters that they could whip out. I mean, there's all kinds of subtle references to other ones and all kinds of other crazy shit happening.
They showed a lot more. They weren't in the movie like a whole lot, but of like, this is happening in this part of the world, that's happening in that part of the world.
Yeah, like here's a couple other ones. I don't think any of them are like noteworthy ones. I don't think they showed any other because they're like, let's keep this close to the chest for when we want to go that far.
Yeah.
But it's some cool. Again, like I said, I mean, if they wanted to, they could really just keep making a lot of these movies because there's like 30 like monsters that they could use, and it's just but
yeah, it was cool. And then I like what they did with Godzilla too. I felt like he was way more entertaining to watch.
He's faster because that's one thing. He's a sluggish, like almost kind of just not interesting to watch. And now he's like running and doing stuff in this one. Yeah, and like the look of him, I think was a lot better done in this movie than the last one. Yeah, it's a good movie. Well, it's a fun movie.
Yeah,
it's good.
Very, very fun, very entertaining. If I had to pick because I guess Kong Skull Island is thrown into this universe as well. Mm-hmm. If I had to pick between the three, I think I would definitely pick this one as the one of like, I just want to watch a dumb movie.
Yeah, either this or Kong. Kong's actually almost legitimately like almost a good movie though. On top of it, this one's just like, but this one's definitely the most fun. Yeah, I would agree with you.
Just give me scores.
Oh, 7. I think that's all this movie kind of deserves is a 7.
Yeah.
So, even though I love it to death, and at this point, even though I haven't seen that many movies this year, it might be like my second or third favorite movie this year. I can't give it more than a 7. Like realistically, I can't.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's one of my favorite movies to watch just from a sheer like entertainment perspective, but I'd give it probably like 7.5. It's fun. Any spoilers you want to talk about?
I mean, so the moments that I was talking about is, well, first off, apparently the King Ghidorah travels around in a hurricane, which I'm like, I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
That one's not the most outrageous. The most outrageous one is, I'm going to try to replicate it because I guess he couldn't be here, but the way Frank said it was Dr. Serizawa carrying a nuke into Godzilla's home and then blowing it up. To wake up Godzilla, and I'm like, that is a fucking sentence.
It is. And also add to that, like, in like the center of the earth,
and like
almost.
on the inner layers of the earth, there's an ancient civilization, and it's like, and apparently it's super irradiated. Yet he can just walk through, and takes his glove off and his mask off at some point for a few seconds and doesn't immediately die.
And he's fine. Like I'm watching Chernobyl right now on HBO, and like that happens like immediately with all the radiation. I'm like, you literally just said like the one guy didn't want to get out because he's like, I want to see my kids again. He points to the radiation. It's like, you literally just said that. He just takes his mask off, his gloves off.
I mean, I guess he's gonna die. But.
Yeah, but they didn't. There was no like visual effect of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a hell of a fucking moment. It was fucking so cool to watch. But then also, wouldn't that fuck the Earth up a lot more?
Oh, 100%.
You just blew a nuke up.
You just blew a nuke up inside the Earth.
of the Earth. Like, come on, man.
That's gotta do a... Yeah, I mean...
And also, like, to me, like, I get Godzilla's very powerful. Traditional weapons don't really hurt him or anything, and he needed the radiation from the bomb to kind of heal himself a lot quicker.
I think that would fuck him up, though.
Yes,
like at least a bit.
It's a nuclear fucking bomb right next to him. I think that would fuck anything up. Like, come on.
But,
oh god,
what was the other moment that I was thinking of? I like that they did a callback to the original one with the oxygen destroyer.
Yeah,
that's a callback to the original Godzilla. I'm like, ooh, that's how they kill him in the first movie. Is they use an oxygen destroyer, and they kill all the fish and whatnot. But the moment before that, and what kind of follows is like where I'm like, oh wow, this is going a little bit differently. I thought when Godzilla just rips the Ghidorah's fucking head off, and I'm like, yeah, and then he just grows it back, and I'm like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
But they're gonna set up Mecha King Ghidorah for the future one because that's what the head's gonna be. They're gonna build him a giant robot body, and he's gonna be a giant 3-headed robot dragon, and I'm all about that because again, that's dumb, but that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's mostly what this movie is. It's a lot of dumb stuff, but it's also awesome stuff. Like how even though all these monsters are like different, they can all somehow mate. Like Godzilla and Mothra, they somehow mate, or at least they allude to that, and I'm like, alright. And also Godzilla's like the alpha. I'm like, none of these things are the same. How the fuck is he? Whatever.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and trying to think of how to put it. Like, Vera Farmiga's character was fine, and I get her motivations and everything of wanting to
tip the scale back to the balance.
Tip the scale,
to
but
quote
I'm like,
Thanos.
All right,
this is a little much.
Yeah,
Like, what do you think is gonna happen with this? It's like, there's no way. Like, I'm like, you know what? It gets me to giant monsters fighting each other. Sure, go for it.
But then
Go
some of the fighting, especially right at the end with Godzilla. And Mothra joins with Godzilla, and Rodan and Ghidorah's all fighting. It's like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And then the whole like nuclear radiation bomb coming off of Godzilla to kill him.
He's glowing red, and it's like, ooh.
Like, okay, cool. But then also, I just find this sort of stuff, and it's a typical movie thing, and it just cracks me up. Like Bradley Whitford, I think, who was the dad in Get Out. He's up in whatever command center in this aircraft that they have, and he's like, 12 minutes until Godzilla goes nuclear. Like, how do you even track that? What are you doing?
What's like? Is this just? It's like, all right, sure,
that
why not?
That happens in so many movies, but I don't know. For some reason, in this one, I'm like, that's just. It feeds into like, this is highly entertaining. This is funny. To watch, it fits the movie, but it's also, when you think about it,
it really
makes no sense.
But it's great. I think if you're looking for the next like fucking symbolic look at the humans and their place and the atomic bomb and nuclear energy and whatnot, I don't know if this is the movie for that. Like, it might toy with that a little bit, but this movie's like, it's. Which, I mean, granted, that's what everybody came for. Which is... So... I'm trying to think, there's not really anything else of note to really bring up that's, like, interesting.
I'm excited for Godzilla versus King Kong.
I'm not going into this expecting anything different, which I probably should have done it with Batman v Superman, but I'm expecting it to end up like that movie. Where somehow some other bigger badder thing's going to show up, and then Godzilla and King Kong are going to have to... Because
Yeah.
both of them are the good guy in their own movie.
I can see
So
that.
unless one of them was set chiefly as like a villain, maybe.
Yeah.
But both of them are good guys, so it's like, you know, or at least the good monster, or whatever you want to say. So,
Yeah.
but still, that should be cool. And then Charles Dance apparently might be in whatever the next movie is after that one, so I'm all about that. And then who knows? Who knows? Again, they got all kinds of monsters they can make movies about if they want to go solo, or if they just want to keep making Godzilla. Fuck it, why not?
Yeah. Definitely. But I think I would definitely like to see something a little bit more grounded.
It could be cool.
I just think that could be very... It might not be as appealing from a financial perspective, but I think from just a creative...
Like just like a small contained story.
Yeah.
That's like about something like this.
Yeah.
Make it like the Iron Giant, but with like fucking King Kong's son. I don't fucking know. Something weird like that.
Why
Just
not?
why don't you just go nuts. Remake Mighty Joe Young. Why not? That's like a giant gorilla movie that you could do.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Disney owns that, so I don't know if you could get away with that, but who knows?
Also, why not have some crossovers with Disney, Godzilla versus Thanos?
Or the more perfect one. Fucking Pacific Rim.
Oh, yeah.
That's like perfect.
That'd be cool.
That's perfect for this.
Yeah.
I mean, there was even talks of there being one. Just do that now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Giant mechs fighting alongside Godzilla to beat up something. God.
Yeah.
That'd be great. But
Alrighty. Let us know what you think of Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Thanks for watching. See ya.